affairs. We don't take those lightly. Current affairs being one of those. You're going to need a lot of that. The one update I don't want to keep giving you over this festive season is how many car accidents and how many fatalities we have. Let's keep that statistic down so much that we don't even have to mention it. Where we're like, man, there were no car accidents yesterday. What happened? Mzansi, disappoint me, please. Just disappoint me for one festive, ne? Just for me. Yeah, like, don't drink and drive. Just surprise me. Pedestrians, don't walk in the middle of the road. I'm just saying, you don't have to die this festive season, guys. There's a whole 2022 waiting for us. Anyway, the Northwest Department of Education has warned parents to beware of a slew of illegal schools that are opening in the province. These are unregistered private or independent schools that are aimed at derailing the future of our learners and have a negative effect on the academic records and a great extent contributing to learner dropout, and the department said on Tuesday. So the MEC for Education in the Northwest, Mapefo Matsemula, urged local communities to report unregistered illegal schools that aim to lure unsuspecting parents into paying costly fees with no value. The act also states that any person who contravenes this is guilty of an offense and upon conviction shall be liable to a fine of imprisonment for a period of up to 3 months. Only 3 months? After robbing people of their life savings who thought they were sending their kids to school? Nah, I think I understand why the community sometimes takes the law into their own hands. These illegal schools must close shop now and for good. Otherwise, in January 22, just after the reopening of the school calendar, the department, acting jointly with the SAPS, will embark on a full-blown campaign to identify and ultimately use the law to close these illegal schools down, which hit hard on vulnerable learners and unsuspecting parents. Arrests will be made during law enforcement, Matsemela warned. So, Matlako is scrambling around looking for quick loan to pay back the balance on the lay-by he put on Christmas clothes for his 5 children. Like dozens of other colleagues, Matlako, a Denel employee, last received his full salary in May last year. The state-owned arms manufacturer owes its staff hundreds of millions of rands in salaries, and about 900 million rand is owed to suppliers. Denel's available cash is insufficient to meet operational requirements, including payment of salaries and suppliers. ANC employees are also facing the bleak Christmas as the governing party owes them 3 months of unpaid wages. Salaries for August and September were only paid about a week ago. Matlako, who is owed in excess of 200,000 rand in unpaid salaries, has already accepted that he will not be traveling home to his village in Limpopo and that his family will not be having their traditional family braai on Christmas Day. The effects of not receiving our full salaries have been dire. Now I'm unable to get my children clothes for Christmas. Despite his situation, this is one responsibility Matlako wants to fulfill, as it's a long-standing tradition. I did lay by the clothes, but now I'm unable to pay them off. So I'm having to run around trying to borrow so I could get them out before Christmas, but I'm not sure if I will come right. There has never been one Christmas where they had a doubt that they won't get the Christmas clothes. Even now it's sinking in for them. I tell them that I will not go and I will go and get them. And Matlako has often needed help from his brother to be able to take care of his children and his unemployed wife, who are solely relying on him for everything. He said that if the Denel mess is not sorted out by February, he will be left with no choice but to resign so that he could be able to take care of his 2 bond repayments. Imagine. And this is your employer. So yeah, it's not easy out there, guys. Spare a thought. If you are getting your full salary, if you bonusing today and all of that, I'm not saying feel guilty about it. Not at all. You've worked hard. But just spare a thought for the people who also wake up and go to work every day. But the only difference is they are fully employed as well, but they have to borrow money to get to and from work because work is not paying them. Something needs to be done, and somebody needs to step in and do something about that. Or else companies need to just call it quits. If it's not really working out, pay people their packages, shut down shop, and let people move on with their lives, because ultimately this is not going to work in the long run. So on Monday, Mswane finished second. Lalela Mswane finished the second runner-up at the event held in Israel, behind the winner, Miss India Harnaz Sandhu and Miss Paraguay Nadia Ferreira. So her participation was marred by controversy, with politicians and civil society calling for her to take a stance against Israel concerning the country's conflict with Palestine. Government pulled its endorsement of Mswane, with the Department of Sports, Art and Culture claiming that Miss SA organization did not seem eager to appreciate the negative impact of representing the country in Israel. So while many celebrated her grabbing a spot in the top three, the NGO Citizens for Integrity penned an open letter to Natim Tetwa saying it was not too late for him and the government to apologize to Mswane. So the CFI, which took the ministry to court regarding its decision to withdraw its support for Mswane, asked if Tetwa would greet Mswane on her triumphant return to South Africa. Approached for comment, the minister's spokesperson, Masechaba Kumalo, said the department had issued a statement last month explaining its stance on the pageant, and we stand by that position. So, reflecting on the storm that erupted over her participation in the event, Mswane told the Jerusalem Post her soul would not have been at peace if she had skipped the pageant. Certain people have put me through hell and back, and it's not been the easiest thing to deal with, but I choose to be optimistic. The way everything unfolded reminded me of his greatness and why I am here. Yes, girl. Mswane told her followers that she had made a decision to choose faith over fear and follow what felt right and good to my soul. It is well, my sister, it is well. She says, I'm filled with so much appreciation and gratitude for all the love and comfort I received in support of my pursuing something extremely important to me. To my beloved family and friends, thank you for being unwavering in your love and support. My heart appreciates all of you. In the capital city of South Africa, Tshwane, or Pretoria as they call it, opposition parties in Tshwane have rejected the new Tshwane executive announced by Mr. Mayor Randall Williams yesterday, describing it as too white. Okay. Williams named the multi-party city cabinet, including 4 councillors from his party, the DA, 3 from Action SA, and 2 from the FF+, with a vacancy in environmental and agriculture. The appointed executive are Alderman Peter Sutton as Finance MMC, leader of Executive Business, Abel Tau, and of Action SA for Human Settlements, Alderman Grandi Tennyson of FF+, Community Safety, Digele Diseloa, DA, in Roads in Transport, Andre Leroux of Action SA, Economic Development and Spatial Planning, and Rina Marks of the FF+ in Health. Peggy De Brain of Action SA is the MMC for Social Development and Community Services, while Corporate and Shared Services is headed by Kingsley Wakelin of the DA, and Utility Services by Philip Nell. However, EFF regional leader Obakeng Romabodu and his ANC counterpart Dr. Khosi Maepa said the new executive was not representative of the majority of the Tshwane population, which they said was black and disadvantaged. Firstly, the list confirms that we as the EFF are not in partnership with the DA, despite us voting with them across the country to unseat the ANC. Secondly, we reject the mayoral committee. It is an old white cabal of people who just want to be in power. They will not serve the interests of the majority of the people, but the affluent areas. We wish to warn our people of this Action SA because it is a project that is not different from the DA. It seeks to protect the interest of white monopoly capital. We as the EFF only helped the DA to unseat the ANC because the black progressive parties are not big enough. We had no choice, Ramabodu said.
We are extraterrestrial. We are KNR.
27 minutes still before 10 o'clock. In Johannesburg, the Hawks and the Asset Forfeiture Unit have seized assets worth 11 million rand belonging to a former Eskom employee and businessman. The former financial controller Mosia Moraka and Victor Shabalala of Miagra Transportation devised a scam where fraudulent invoices were issued for work not done. This left Eskom 34 million rand out of pocket. Shabalala's company is said to have transported coal for Eskom in Mpumalanga. The pair were convicted of fraud in the Specialized Commercial Crimes Unit, and their assets were seized on Tuesday, and among them properties and 32 vehicles registered to Miagra Transport. And finally, Further afield in this beautiful continent of Africa, with only days to go until the scheduled elections meant to cap Libya's long political transition and unify the war-torn country, many instead fear a return to violence. Standing near the port of the capital Tripoli, Khaled al-Turki said he has little optimism about the December 24th vote. The most prominent candidates are divisive, the 25-year-old told the Associated Press. If there had been a candidate with broad public approval, competent and able to bring the Libyan people together, we would have been more optimistic, but that's not the case. Since longtime ruler Muammar Gaddafi was toppled and killed in 2011, the revolt, the North African country has endured a decade of war, leaving bitter divisions and impoverished the population, despite Libya's oil wealth. But many governments can fix the dire economic situation. It'll need to bring security, said Adam bin Fayed, who works with Turkey in an international organization in Tripoli. He says, I hope the problems like electricity cuts, the lack of cash, and damaged infrastructure can be sorted out. But the priority has to be secure because you can't build anything until security is in place. To build security, the president needs to be able to speak to all Libyans. Unifying president, the elections part of a United Nations-led process since the landmark East-West ceasefire last year have been overshadowed by political maneuvering and a lack of an agreed legal framework. So on the 24th of December, that is next week, Friday, the Libyans are going to the polls. I understand as well, one of the candidates who is running is actually Muammar Gaddafi's son. So that should be interesting to see how the people vote. On the comments, Siyabonga baby, welcome Msasi Sonke va. Ayitume itsamaye. Let's go man. Umandi Chihagazi Mangesi uthi ndikhona nami Port Alfred. Sizawugqitha ke Port Alfred ngomso. Uzawubuphi because we're going to Cape Town. Boo, 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 boo. And Emily Martin, Uti Va VR Tech. Where's VR Tech now? Where is that? Western VR Tech? Anything? Anything? Nothing? Well, I see you, Emily Martin, regardless of the fact. 24 minutes before 10 a.m. Good morning.
We are extraterrestrial.